say you're moving to Warrensburg or you're PCSing to Whiteman and you're like, oh my gosh, there's nothing to do in this town. Well, I can help you with that. Today we're going to talk about the 12 things to do in or near Warrensburg, Missouri. Welcome back to my awesome channel. Today, we're going to talk about the 12 most awesomest things to do in or near Warrensburg, Missouri. And don't forget to click the like button, subscribe. There's a little alarm bell down there. Click on it because we make a new video every single week, and you're definitely going to want to watch because we talk about everything there is to know about Warrensburg, Missouri. And we get so many calls and texts and emails from people who are moving to this area, and we love it. So definitely keep it up. If you're moving to Warrensburg or PCSing to Whiteman, definitely check out our contact information below and hit us up. Starting off, we are going to talk about, what's better, wineries. Number 12 on our list, we're going to talk about Montserrat Winery and Arcadian Moon. Now, these are two really great little wineries near Warrensburg, Missouri. One is very close by. It's halfway between Warrensburg and Knob Noster, and the other is right up near Higginsville, about 10 minutes away. Both are wonderful. Both are beautiful. You can sit outside, you can drink wine, they have food like appetizers, and it's just a great day. So if you want to go just drink some wine, or even, there's non-alcoholic options too. Sit on a patio, watch some live music, check out Arcadian Moon and Montserrat Wineries. Always a good choice for Saturday afternoon. Number 11 on my list is Powell Gardens. Now this is a place about 15 minutes outside of Warrensburg towards Kansas City on 50 Highway, and it's awesome. It is a wonderful day trip. You can just walk around these amazing, beautiful gardens with fish ponds, koi ponds. There's an amazing church. It is gorgeous. People get married there. It is pricey, but it's a really fun day. They have a restaurant, so you can get some wine and walk around the gardens. They also do, during different times of the year, they have different events. So for example, during October, they have a spooky light walk. It's really cool. And during Christmas time, they have amazing lights everywhere. They do this giant Christmas light thing throughout all the gardens. It's really beautiful. And they have a butterfly exhibit that's wonderful. They breed all these butterflies in this greenhouse, and during this certain time of the year, you can walk through the greenhouse and you're just like covered in butterflies. It's awesome, unless you have a butterfly phobia, and then you probably shouldn't do it. But I love Powell Gardens. It's a great day trip. I highly recommend it. Moving on. I notice I say that a lot in my videos, but it's true. I'm moving on to the next thing. We're going to talk about number 10, the farmer's market. So it's pretty great in our town. We have a wonderful farmer's market during produce season, and it's Wednesday and Saturday. So Wednesday evenings and Saturday mornings. You can go to the farmer's market in downtown Warrensburg, and you can buy all sorts of cool stuff. So from locally made crafts and woodworking to honey. We have local beekeepers, to locally produced beef and bison and deer, and you can buy tons of produce and tamales. There's a tamale lady. Oh, her tamales are really good. So it's a really great experience, and I get all of my produce pretty much from the farmer's market while they're open during season. So farmer's market, great. And then we also have First Friday Art Walk. So every first Friday of the month, during the spring and summer times, we have all the local artists and the small businesses downtown put on basically a display of what they do, all their different arts and crafts and local artwork from all the local artists. And you can walk around the downtown area, and they section it off so you can carry alcoholic beverages and walk around and look at art. It's a great time. So that's number 10. Always a fun day. Now we're going to talk about number 9, and it's definitely a personal favorite of mine, but I say that about all of these, but they're all kind of personal favorites because I love this town. But antiquing. I love antiquing. We have some really cool antique stores in this town. One of them is called Junk and Disorderly, and it is in an old honky-tonk. It's not a honky-tonk anymore, but the bar is still there, and you can buy wine. I know that's kind of a theme, but you know, I like wine sometimes. So you can go there, you can buy some wine, and then you can walk around an antique. It's awesome. Another great antique store in town is called Those Were the Days, and it's actually one of the largest in Missouri. It's 3 stories, and it's just chock full of treasures. So if you like antiquing, check out our stores. They're pretty cool. So here we are in Those Were the Days, and this is just a giant kind of mix of like antique store / garage sale type place, and it's 3 stories. There's more stuff here than you could go through in a day. It would probably take like multiple days to look through everything, but it's fun. It's indoors and it's a good time. Moving on to number 8. This one is very close to my heart. It's CrossFit Believe. And you're like, oh my gosh, why are you putting a CrossFit gym on this list, Eva? And I will tell you why. This gym has so many community outreach activities. It's really great. So they put on quite a few different events throughout the year that get families and kids involved in fitness. They have different races, they have different community events, they have barbecues. CrossFit Believe is pretty awesome how they get everyone together celebrating fitness and community. So join a local gym. You can meet a lot of great people, make a lot of friends, and you get your fitness on. Very important in this day and age. And if, for example, you're PCSing into Whiteman or you're about to start school at University of Central Missouri, I should mention that they have a discount for military members, veterans, and students. So, for number 7, we're going to travel a little bit outside of Warrensburg, and we're going to talk about the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art and the Kemper Museum of Contemporary Art. So these are in Kansas City. They're about 45 minutes away, but they're great. The Nelson is interesting because it's actually a free museum. You just donate what you feel your ticket should be. So maybe it's $1, maybe it's $5, maybe it's $20. It's all up to you. And they have rotating exhibits, so you never know what you're gonna see. I saw a really cool Monet exhibit there a couple months ago, and it was breathtaking. And the Kemper Museum is just cool. Contemporary art, I mean, love it, hate it, but it's always interesting, and it's always something you can talk about over wine later. Number 6, we're on number 6. We are gonna talk about the Arabian Steamboat Museum in Kansas City and Science City, both very cool day trips. So the Arabian Steamboat Museum is actually a whole museum focused around the steamboat Arabia, which sank in 1856. And then many years later, in 1988, they dug it up and they took everything out of it and they made a museum out of it. And it's pretty cool to walk through. It's definitely a day trip. You'll spend all day going through all the stuff. It's just fun. It's a fun, cool day trip if you've never been. And Science City is amazing. It is a great place to take your kids. They have so many cool, like hands-on interactive science exhibits where you can step in this portal elevator thing and feel what a hurricane feels like, or you can interact with different electric currencies on this giant globe thing. It's just a really cool hands-on type activity that kids can really like interact in and run around and be occupied all day, which is the best. Though if you have toddlers, that may be a little too young for them, but definitely any kids over 5, this is a great day trip for both cases, really. Number 5, we're gonna talk about Branson and Silver Dollar City. So these places are a little bit further away from Warrensburg. It's a couple-hour drive, so it's more of a weekend trip. So Branson is just chock full of crazy things, like the Guinness Book of World Records Museum is down there. There's tons of different dinner shows and lots of mini golf. There's a lot of mini golf in Branson, but there's a lot of shows, and then it's right next to Silver Dollar City, which is kind of Westerns themed theme park basically, and it has like roller coasters and rides. So it's more of like an experience. It's more of a trip versus just like a day trip, but it's definitely something to keep in mind if, say, you and your family and your kids are looking for a relatively easy and cheap, they are relatively cheap getaway that's fun for everyone. Definitely consider Branson. Branson is kind of like Disneyland and Las Vegas made a really weird Missouri baby. That's the best way I can describe it. You have to experience Branson to really know what I'm talking about. Number 4, we're gonna talk about the Missouri State Fair. Now, I love me some fair corn dogs. I'll just say it. In the lemonade, where they give you like half the lemon in the cup, and if you come to Missouri, you're definitely gonna have to try fried things. So at the fair, you can get fried Oreos and fried donuts and fried ice cream. There's a trend here. I think you're seeing it. I love the fair because I love fair food. But the Missouri State Fair, it's been going since 1901, and it is located in Sedalia, Missouri, which is about 30 minutes from Warrensburg, and it's a great fun trip. They have so many activities at the fair. There are concerts at night, there are beer tents, there are rides, there's lots of livestock, so there's lots of livestock showings and different competitions and stuff like that, and there's giant tractors everywhere, and the Missouri Department of Conservation brings out a lot of really great animals for people to see, native Missouri species, and it's just like this giant event that overtakes Sedalia for a week or two in August. And if you've never been to the Missouri State Fair, I highly recommend it. Just make sure you wear some shoes that you can walk around in and you don't mind stepping in cow poop, because it's probably gonna happen. For more outdoorsy folks, it's Knob Noster State Park, all of the parks in Warrensburg, and the prairie in Warrensburg. Very cool. So we're right next to Knob Noster State Park, and there are so many awesome hiking trails in this area and little lakes that you can fish in. So for an afternoon, you could literally just go get lost in nature, and it's really fun. We also have award-winning parks in this town. We have 8 parks all over Warrensburg, and we have a small patch of tall grass prairie. I know that sounds really nerdy. I'm very excited about it. I love prairie, and it's tall grass prairie, so the prairie grass is very tall. Anyway, if you like outdoors and you like nature, we have a lot of that going for us. Moving on to number 2, and that is the Kansas City Zoo. I love the zoo. Everyone loves the zoo, really. I mean, there's animals, and there's elephants, and there's tigers, and lions, and penguins. I love penguins. So, personal story, the Kansas City Zoo, you can become a volunteer there, and you can actually help work with the animals. So I used to volunteer there, and I worked with the penguins. So I helped clean their enclosure, and I helped feed them, and put together all the food for their diet every day, and it was such a cool experience. And anyone can do this. You just sign up and take a class, and then pick what area you want to volunteer in. I highly recommend the Kansas City Zoo. Oh, and it's giant. There's like 3 or 4 different big sections. It would take you days to walk around the entire thing. Like just the Africa Loop alone is like an hour. So, and there's a gondola that goes right over it. So I really recommend, if you want to spend a day out walking around, being outside, looking at some really amazing animals, check out the Kansas City Zoo. Number 1, we finally got to number 1, and that is, drumroll, Legoland and the Aquarium in Kansas City. So it's also a Kansas City one, so it's 45 minutes away from Warrensburg. But the awesomeness about these 2 places, they're right next door to each other. So take the family, go see sea turtles and really cool sharks and rays and feel like you're under the ocean, because it's a really cool aquarium. And walk right next door and go play with giant Legos. Can't get any better than that. But, gotta let you know, so with Legoland, you have to have kids to enter. There's only a couple nights or days every month that adults can go without kids. So I get why they're doing it, super safe. But make sure you call beforehand if you're just an adult without a child and you want to go to Legoland, because you'll show up and they won't let you in. But anyway, so there we go. There's our list. I hope you guys have really loved my video, and I hope you got some really great ideas of things that you can go and see and do in and near Warrensburg, Missouri. And make sure that you like and subscribe and click the little alarm thingy down there, because we make a new video every single week about everything eat, sleep, play, drink in Warrensburg, Missouri. And you don't want to miss it. And also, our contact information is below, and we get so many calls and texts and emails from people who are moving to Warrensburg or PCSing to Whiteman, and we love it. Definitely don't stop. Keep it up. Need anything? give us a call. Okay, this is Eva Clark with Next Door Agents. Bye.